We have trapped them inside Aso Rock. As I'm speaking, be writing it down on a piece of paper so you can do your research later on. Right now, they are like caged animals within a zoo in Aso Rock. They are caged completely. What they have done with Osibajo, I have no idea. It is for the Yorubas to rise up and ask for their son. The same way Biafrans rose and asked for me when I was kidnapped, when I was abducted by the forces of the zoo. I don't know what is wrong with some people. When you say, go and find Osibajo, they take offense. I don't know why. But this evening, we will tell you what Osibajo's disappearance portends for the collapse of the zoo. Because we have trapped them in Aso Rock. And as I go, I will mention the time so you understand it. The time now is precisely 7:30 p.m. in the land of Biafra. 7:30 p.m. in the evening in the land of Biafra. If you check your time now, it's exactly the same number of minutes. Every clock in the world right now, it is at 7:30. That's how you know we are live and we are direct. And that mankind is listening. Humanity is paying us homage today. We have trapped them inside Aso Rock, the diseased remnant few of the cabal. They are trapped inside Aso Rock, holding Osibajo hostage, live hostage. If he survived the COVID-19 attack, I have no idea, but they infected him. If he's alive, I do not know. But what I'm telling you this evening is pure gospel. That Nigeria has collapsed because there is no government. None whatsoever. What we have are janjaweed with AK-47 all over the place. In military uniform, army, police, customs, what they called again, civil defense. There is no more Nigeria. Nigeria is gone. Piece by piece, this evening, we decimate the zoo. Complete this. Anytime I ask where is Osibajo, what are they going to tell you? The same response. The same thing they did when Buhari died. The same thing they did anytime they go missing. The same line. Photoshop after Photoshop. Edited video after edited video. Then the same line of explanation. Where is he? They always tell you that in accordance with the guidelines of NCDC, he has been observing social distancing, thereby limiting physical engagements. He has been working from his office, using teleconferencing to continue his official duties. He is working as the chairman of the Economic and Sustainability Committee, a committee so that every time you ask them, where is Osibajo, this is the answer you get. In the middle of a pandemic, now you have a listen, just common sense, only simple, tiny common. Listen very carefully. The elected vice president of the country is heading a subgroup, Economic and Sustainability Committee, whereas somebody who is an ordinary government appointee, a political appointee with no constitutionally recognized shelf life, he has no tenure, no life, can be sacked tomorrow morning, is the one leading the government's response in the midst of the worst crisis that can ever affect any country apart from war. This is even worse, because in war you see your enemies. Here you don't see anybody. I want you to reason very carefully. The person you claim you voted for as your vice president, who should be deputizing in the absence of the president, which is quite obvious, isn't it, is now heading a subcommittee, listen carefully, that reports to a man who was appointed only a few months ago. Now you understand it? Do you see that the zoo has fallen? That there is no president, no vice president, not even ordinary chief of staff. They have none. They cannot replace Abakari because there are 3 camps in Aso Rock. Aisha Buhari's camp, this camp that are loyal to Mama and Daura, and they camp the remnants of those, the cabal that Abakari built. They know they are in trouble. That is why they are all fleeing. That is why they are all running, all of them. Aso Rock is empty. And this evening, I can tell you categorically that the person running Nigeria as at this moment, if you know anybody that has access to Aso Rock, you ask them. The person running Nigeria right now and dishing out contracts is Aisha Buhari. This very night, this very minute. Because there is no president. Buhari is dead in Saudi Arabia in a grave. Osibajo is out of the picture. Completely taken out of the picture. There is nobody you voted for to run Nigeria that is there. Absolutely none. There is nobody there. It is the illegitimate first lady. Illegitimate because her tenure ends when her husband died. That was the end of Aisha Buhari's tenure as first lady. Mrs. Osibajo should be the first lady. Osibajo should be the president of Nigeria. But due to a combination of fear and cowardice, treachery, some people are not able to rise up and demand to see what the Constitution say must happen. Listen very carefully. The person who is in charge of Nigeria as at this moment, this very second, with the time now at, what is the time? Approximately 24 minutes to 8 is Aisha Buhari. Aisha Buhari is the Nigerian president now. That is why they have not appointed any replacement chief of staff. Are you following? Why should it take so long? That's why I asked you to bring your pen and your paper. Write it down. Common sense. When you go back, you reflect and you ponder. You reflect and you ponder. You understand what they're doing with you. You will understand the game and the tricks they're playing with you and why you have allowed them to get away with it for a very long time. It is your fault. You that call yourselves Nigerians, it is your fault that you're in a mess. It is your fault that you're getting Alamajiri distributed all over the place. It is your fault. Your fault. That a woman who shouldn't be in Aso Rock is there now as your president. Aisha Buhari. She is the one now in charge. You are in a country where people cannot muster the courage to say, I want to see the vice president that I voted for. I want to see and hear the president address me live. But with the advent of new technology, just having somebody making a live broadcast is no longer enough. Because this evening, I'm going to show you and tell you all the tricks they play. We need the truth. We need people to come out and to confess their sins before they start going to prison in handcuffs, one after the other. I know the Fulani won't arrest their own. Of course, we know that very well. We know they won't. But they are going to jail. What Aisha Buhari is doing now is a worse treason than her husband. What Buhari did in 1983 by overthrowing Shagari. This is high crimes and misdemeanor. What Aisha is doing is a hanging offense. In any civilized country, it's a hanging offense. Nobody voted for her. Before her, nobody voted for Abakari. Nobody did. But due to your cowardice and your docility, your gossipy nature, your gossipy, almost comical existence, that is why none of these things were taken seriously. And today you're suffering the consequences. You are the laughing stock of the world. Now, do you understand why all the foreign countries, and of course companies, took away all their nationals? That time that plane was coming and taking people away, we kept wondering, but why are they taking people? What have they seen that we have not seen? Now, have you seen what they have seen? They knew everything. As soon as the cabal decided to render Osinbajo impotent, you know what they did? Countries started airlifting their people out of the zoo because they know there is going to be a breakdown of law and order. There is going to be chaos in Nigeria. They know there is no government. That was why they airlifted their people out. Go and ask anywhere in the world if people airlifted 90% of the diplomats out of the territories they're in. The answer is no. Now are you following? Now are you following? My question this evening is this. Why is it that you have Yoruba constitutional lawyers, people that say they are sophisticated, people that say they went to school, they fail to understand one thing, that a law on a piece of paper, a constitution is only words written on a piece of paper. For it to have any relevance or any bite, so to speak, it must be enforceable. What you're saying in effect is that the Nigerian Constitution does not recognize Osinbajo as the Vice President of Nigeria. That is why Boss Mustafa, who is a political appointee, is the one running the government's response to COVID-19. Whereas the person you elected to do that very job, Osinbajo, they are holding him hostage. Now you understand why the zoo has fallen. Not that the zoo will fall. It has already fallen. There is no... Now imagine what is going to happen when all these things comes out in the open. Have you asked yourselves the chaos that is going to ensue when all these things are laid bare in the open? Have you ever for one moment sat down to consider the calamitous consequences of what Aisha Buhari is doing and the rest of the North? Have you asked yourself that? No, you have not. Now you know why countries and governments of the world evacuated their people. You must know why they evacuated their people. Now you understand it, don't you? Now you understand it, don't you? I have to take a sip of water because this is a live presentation, not like the zoo. Photoshop, video shop, everything is fake. Tonight, we render them asunder. Tonight, I'm proving to you that Nigeria no longer exists. What you're doing, you're just merely existing in a British-defined geopolitical space. As a country, Nigeria have ceased to exist. That's what I'm trying to prove to you tonight. The person, can you imagine the irony? The person you voted for to do a particular job has been kidnapped. If you ask them, they show you a video. The world has advanced. People can do anything with, as I'll demonstrate to you tonight, people can do whatever they like with videos these days and pictures. It's irrelevant. People want to see, feel, and touch Osinbajo because you people are liars. That was why you brought in the Chinese, as I knew. That's why they came. Not just to test vaccine on us. Not just because of all the assets they are stripping and taking back to China. You brought them in to bring the new generation of deep fake videos and photoshopping techniques. But as I said, we have everything. We have everything. So you're wasting your time. The sooner you come clean, the better. The sooner Aisha Buhari comes out to hand herself over to whoever that will put chains on her wrists, handcuffs, the better for them. They are all, you see what coronavirus is doing? They are all going to fall. They better go and start committing suicide. Because no matter how stupid and how hopeless zoo people are, those use tissue paper, Nigerians, they will not forgive them for this. They will never ever forgive them for this. They have now gotten into a lot of trouble, haven't they? There is something I don't quite understand about my Yoruba brothers. I don't understand this thing about my Yoruba brothers. I don't understand it. Is it that you hate your own son? Or you are afraid of asking the Fulani to produce your son for you? I'm just asking because, you know, I don't know where the brain of Nigeria, and I can't, but where are your thinking faculties? Where are they? Nigerians, where are your thinking faculties? I'm asking you. I know that Biafrans can reason. I know that very well. I am asking Nigerians, where are your thinking faculties? Can you reason at all? Now, listen. This is a very important news being carried by Tinubu's newspaper, The Nation. In a country that practices democracy, where they claim the president is alive, where they claim the vice is alive, of course we know that contrary is the case. Look at the headline, Aso Villa, and they are saying it with pride. These are people that claim they are educated. These are people that claim they are enlightened. These are people that claim sophistication. These are people that claim to be, these are people that claim they're the elite. I want to read the headline for you. I don't even know if people actually read these things and digest. I don't know if people just read and do they actually assimilate and digest what they're reading. Aso Villa is the headline. A new force tries to dismantle the cabal. A new force is now positioning themselves inside Aso Rock to take over from the cabal of Abakari. Can you, whereas you have a vice president? Hey, man. Hey, democracy in Nigeria, unbelievable, can you I want to read it for you. They said a fresh power play is covertly in place in the presidential villa with a new force trying to dismantle the hitherto powerful cell, otherwise called the cabal. Since the illness and eventual death of the late Chief of Staff, Malam Abba Kyari, it has been difficult for some members of the cabal. Are you people following? Are you listening? The Chief of Staff died, so they led us to believe, Abba Kyari. And upon his death, there is a new power tussle inside Aso Rock. Not that the president died, no. They claim he's alive somewhere. Ordinary Chief of Staff died, and they say there is a power tussle, that the cabal has been weakened. Can you believe such garbage coming from a national newspaper? People read these things, they, hey, God in heaven. Hey, I want to read for you, please, so people can understand the man. I want to let you know that from the news coming from your own Nigeria, I want to use the same news to prove to you that you have no government. I want to use the same news to prove to you that your country doesn't exist. You only exist on paper, maybe on tissue paper, or a used one for that matter. I don't know. Besides I'm reading from Nation newspaper. Besides the redeployment of the permanent secretary of the State House, Mr. Jalal Arabi, the access accreditation tag of the prominent member and name withheld was withdrawn to enable the power broker apply as a visitor. All these things are happening. Hey, come here. All these things. Imagine now, for instance, the Chief of Staff to Trump dies, and you hear maybe Washington Post or Wall Street Journal say there is a new power tussle inside the White House. That inside that because of that power tussle going on, that somebody who was a very close ally of Donald Trump will now have to go and apply as a visitor to come to White House because, listen to this, because Donald Trump's Chief of Staff is now dead. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to anybody? Does that make sense to anybody? I'm asking you. Those who can reason, what is happening in, does that make sense to an ordinary average person? That is Nigeria for you. They said that, listen, this is Tinubu's paper. A new force is emerging, and everyone is being careful to avoid belonging to a wrong camp. As I told you, there is a power tussle. That is why they have not appointed a new chief of staff. Did I not tell you that? Have you seen it? Justified, proven that we are always right. Always right. What they are saying is that Aisha Buhari is on a revenge mission. She was kicked out of her quarters, humiliated the daughter of Abba Kyari, locked Aisha Buhari's room, and said she wouldn't go in. Now is revenge. All those people that worked with Abba Kyari, now Aisha is denying them access to the villa to Asorok. Are you following? This is a country that elected a president and a vice. And in all this nonsense, you're asking yourself, which of the cabal belongs to the vice president? At least he's the deputy, isn't it? None. Where is he? Let's forget that. Where is the vice president? You can't find him. But where is he? Oh no, he is heading economic reconstruction committee. Do you see what they're doing to your brain? And what? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I can't understand these people. I don't understand. Are you following? They are now camps. This one wants their own person to be the de facto president. Because of that, Aisha Buhari is now in charge. And there is nobody, I repeat, there is nobody in charge of the zoo. The zoo has collapsed. The zoo is gone. Are you following? Are all of you following what is happening in the damnable zoological republic? If there is a vice president, shouldn't he automatically inherit the presidency? Even if you claim, albeit falsely, that Buhari is there but he can no longer perform, is it not the job of the vice president to assume leadership in the absence or incapacitation of the president as constitutionally